Alright guys, how you doing? It's Rabea, I hope you're all well. So I'm excited about this video because it's been a long time since I've worked with Revv Amplification. In case you don't know who they are a Canadian amp company, and they make some really awesome amplifiers used by all sorts of artists, from Joey Landreth to Jeff Loomis and everything in between. I've worked with them over the years. I've had the pleasure of reviewing quite a lot of their gear, and also I own a couple of their amplifiers, including the Revv Generator 120 and the Generator 120 Mark II. Both incredible amplifiers that we've used all over recordings from Tosca through to the VOWER stuff now. And in the recent years, they've been making lunchbox sized heads, like much smaller amplifiers. They did the D20 and the G20, which I reviewed a few years back now. And it's my pleasure to say that they have now released a new one, which is the D20 Mark II, which is the amplifier we're going to be looking at in this video. Okay, so this is the box that it comes in, very nice. But what I like is that it comes in a box like this, not just a cardboard box, like a branded box. So on the inside it says thank you, Revv Amps, and it has all the social stuff. Certificate of authenticity. We have a cable box, so it's your power cables, and it looks like a MIDI lead, so I'm assuming the foot switch is MIDI in here, and a USB, because I'm assuming, like the last D20, this thing has, you know, a built-in OS that you can use to load up IRs and all the rest of it. So we've got stickers, we've got a little bit of squidgy stuff, and then the main event. Oh, wait, before we do that, switch machine. So in the switch, we have a 2-button foot switch, very light. 2-button foot switch with a 5-pin DIN input. So you have boost and reverb, so that's cool. We'll keep that out. And then to the main event. Let me get rid of this box. Comes in a nice amp cover as well, so let's unsheath the beast. So this is the D20 Mark II. As I say, I don't know much about this amp. I didn't know they were releasing a new one. But in terms of the features, we've got a couple of toggle switches. We've got boost, we've got a bright switch, we've got pre and post switch. I'll find out exactly what that does. We've got phones input, we've got level, I'm assuming for that. Then you've got virtual cabs, so that's like, obviously you can run virtual cabs and load up your own IRs and things like that, just like the last one. Then we've got gain, treble, mid, bass, volume, and reverb. There's built-in reverb and input. And then on the back, so there's a cable input for cabinet lighting, so you can change the color of the cab if you buy a Revv cab. MIDI in, USB, ground lift, balanced XLR output. We've got bias test inputs. We've got the MIDI 5-pin DIN input for your foot switch, effects loop. Then you've got a switch for 20 watts or 4 watts, and then you've got 8 ohm or 4 ohms. And then you've got a switch which allows to operate an internal load if you want to run this without a cab, which is a very cool feature, or you can run it into a speaker cab, which is what we're doing today. So that is basically the D20 Mark II. So we should fire her up and see how she sounds. Just so you guys know, this is a sponsored video. My good friend Derek from Revv reached out and asked me if I wanted to check out the D20 Mark II, put it on my channel for you guys to check it out, and of course, been paid to do so. I just wanted to disclose that before we move further into this video. Okay, so I've got it set up. I've got a pedal board on the ground, just so you know, running a Universal Audio Starlight Echo Station, delay into the Strymon Big Sky, that's in the effects loop, and then in front, I've got a pedal that I have no idea what, I can't remember the name of it, but Pete gave it to me. So it's like a fuzz, and then I've got the Greer Lightspeed as well. Also, have to shout out Hercules for sending me this awesome 5-way guitar rack, so I can actually have a bunch of guitars out that I can easily grab now instead of having to dig through cases. So I've got a Gretsch Penguin, I've got the Les Paul 71, I've got the Ultra 2 Tele, I've got the new Strat, the vintage one, and I've got my Music Man Sabre. So we've got a bunch of different guitars to try. It's worth saying that the D20 is like a pedal platform amplifier in the sense that it's not loads of gain in it at all. The G20 is the one with all the gain. This is the one that's kind of a dynamic, lovely kind of, you can do really nice cleans all the way through to sort of like a mild crunch kind of thing. And so that's why we're going to use pedals as well. So anyway, I'm going to grab a guitar. Let's start with the Strat, because we all love a Strat. All right, everything's set to 12 o'clock, gain, bass, middle, and treble. There's no boost, no bright switch, no reverb right now, just straight in guitar. Lovely chime to it. I would also say there's a nice amount of like natural compression from the amp itself. Let's try the reverb built in. Okay, so I like the reverb, but I also really like the Strymon Big Sky. So let's now try the boost. That sounds really nice. Bright switch. Really opened up now. That's really nice. All right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to drop the master volume and then I'm going to boost the gain. Because it doesn't crunch up, it's not high gain at all, but you should be able to hear now that we've got a little bit of bite. All right, so if we throw on the Greer light speed now. That's great. Let's just, for the sake of it at this point, throw on the fuzz as well. So it takes pedals really well, which we already knew with this amplifier in particular, but that is a great combination of pedals, and where I've got it set on the amp, just having the gain at around sort of 3/4, the master down, EQ's in the middle, and I've got the boost and the bright switch in, but it's really, really liking what I'm putting through it. So let's try a different guitar. All right, 71 Les Paul. Lightspeed. That is really, really, really fun. All right, got the Gretsch Penguin, so I'm taking the boost out, but keeping the bright switch in. It's worth saying this Tele is a bit darker than the normal one because it has the noiseless pickups. Thing to point out so far with this amplifier is that I just haven't really changed anything. I set my gain where I like it on this amp. The EQ's pretty much halfway. The only thing I've dropped a bit was the bass and the treble a touch, and the bright switch and the booster stayed up. And overall, I'm just digging it. I'm just digging the way it sounds. So let's try with a modern sounding guitar, shall we? Okay, that's going to about do it for this video on the new Revv D20 Mark II, in other words, the Dynamis, which, in case you didn't know, says it on the front there. It's a super simple amplifier in terms of, you know, the main sort of tone of the amplifier and what it's meant to do. It goes from glassy cleans to a really nice kind of edge of breakup, mild crunch kind of territory. It really shines when you start messing around with pedals and, you know, having stuff in the effects loop. I really enjoyed the way it sounded, and I felt that the boost and the bright switch together allow you to get a lot of different kind of tones just from the amp itself. And the main thing that I like about it is the way it feels. It feels really good, and it's a lot of low end, but not too much. The room feels full, you feel supported when you dig in, when you hold off. Like, it's a very dynamic feeling amplifier, probably why they called it the Dynamis. And I like it, it's nice and small. 20 watts is more than enough volume, especially going through a 412. The fact you can switch it down to 4 is very cool. And on top of that, having, you know, the USB capability with all the different, you know, virtual cabs that you can have, and the different sort of, all the different presets that you can save into that as well, that are all accessible via MIDI or anything like that if you want to incorporate this into a more complex rig. But for me in this video, I did just want to plug it into a cabinet with, you know, a bunch of pedals and just play guitar, because at the end of the day, it's an amplifier. It's meant to amplify cabs and get a great sound in the room, and that's what I felt like I wanted to do and did in this video. So those are my thoughts. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. If you're interested in checking one of these out, I'll link it in the description box. But thank you to Derek for sending this amp out for me to try. Really appreciate it. It's been a long time since we worked together on anything, so I've really had a lot of fun with this, as I hope you could tell. And of course, having a bunch of different guitars to try it out, I feel like it shone differently depending on the guitar that I was using. Lots of different kind of feels and vibes, so that's really cool. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and share. Thank you for watching. I've been Rabea, and I will see you all very soon.